Greetings, peace and blessings. Happy new moon in Libra, everybody. Today is the day that Mercury rules, and Mercury's at the 20th degree of Libra on its retrograde path. And if you ask me, it's the only thing going on in the world right now. It's Mercury retrograde. Today is my last day of quarantine. When I got back from Egypt, I put myself on a quarantine for 10 days because, it's COVID land. Traveling through COVID land was severe. And so everywhere I went, there was some sort of warning or sign. And the subconscious picks up all of that stuff. And so I just had to really work with my energy, to relax and get back into my own groove and feeling good. And I think I was telling you guys that I drank the water. And so I just have been dehydrated for a while. So I've been drinking a lot of orange juice with salt in it and just doing things to really restore my energy. And that being said, the thing that I find is becoming more and more important is our ability to read energy. I think the thing that I have discovered learning how to read symbols and following the moon and understanding the energy of the planets and how they really function is that the more we can really follow our feelings, what we feel, because that is where the energy is. By the time it becomes a story or it becomes, something, a news story or something you've seen, the energy behind it is what you really want to understand. Like, what was the creator of this? What was the creative energy of this experience, right? And so that's the easiest way to understand your relationships. That's the easiest way to understand your relationship with anything is by really understanding the energy. Like, what is the energy that draws you to a particular person or to a particular experience or something like that? I know right now I'm having this experience. There's somebody, a new sort of person in my life, and I feel an ancient connection with them. I feel it. Like, I can totally feel like, fuck, this is like I've been many lifetimes in this person's experience, and I'm watching myself sort of dick and dodge around it. Like, I don't really feel like dealing with it yet. I'm like, because the story is off. The story is off, but the energy is present, and I can feel the energy, and so I'm not sure how I'm going to navigate it yet, because my tendency when I feel energy like that with people, especially if they're a man, is to navigate it through romance. And I don't really feel like that. But the energy is there. The energy is penetrating me, right? The energy is telling me like, ooh, like yummy, right? But I don't fucking feel like it. I'm like, I don't want to do that, right? So learn to really follow the feeling of things and not the actual story and not what your ego is telling you about it. And in that, and in doing so, then you actually have a more accurate experience of what's really happening. If you can learn to trust your energy, trust what you don't see more than what you do see. One of the things people get really upset, and I don't talk about it often because people get so upset, but that I voted for Trump, right? Not the second time, but the first time. So I'm probably going to lose followers and all that kind of stuff. But the energy of Trump was that he was going to begin to destroy the system. And that is something that I believe in highly. I believe that our system is corrupt and it needs to come down. And there was something about his energy. I could feel that he was a bull in a china store. I could feel that his energy was here to be a disruptor. And and so he began to disrupt the status quo. He was dismantling the fucking government, you guys. Like, the motherfucker was dismantling the government. How was he doing it? By putting people in place who couldn't do their jobs. So he was literally bringing the system down. And, you know, people didn't like it because they need the system in order to flourish and stay rich and stay in control and stay in power. So, so that had to end. And he was able to ride in on white supremacy, like, because they do believe in white supremacy. That is, white supremacy really wasn't the problem. It was the fact that he was not going to adhere to the rules of the system to keep power in place. It was the fact that he was going to disrupt the power, which is why he had to go. And you can only understand that if you can follow energy. You've got to be able to follow energy. Okay, so let me say, I only have a few minutes because I have a client at 9 o'clock. Somebody actually got into my calendar because I made a mistake. Got in at 9 o'clock. I don't start working until 10. But I have a client this morning. But there is this documentary on HBO Max about this woman who had a weight loss church. And she turned extreme is what she did. She turned extreme. And it was a weight loss church, all in the name of Jesus. And Jesus is going to make you lose weight. And, I lost 85 pounds in the name of Jesus. And all that shit is good. Okay, we'll take it. But she started getting power hungry because people were worshiping her and because she felt so special, right? And so what happened is when Black people came into the community, because Black people are highly empathic. We are highly empathic. But we have been so traumatized that we don't trust ourselves. We don't feel connected to the energy in the way that we really are connected to the energy. It's almost like time and trauma has just oppressed us so much that we don't really trust ourselves because we've experienced 400 years of trauma. But so Black people came into this community and they were doing what she told them to do. And because Black people are so absorbent, we really absorb energy. We really reflect the frequency of what's really happening around us. Like we're that porous, right? So, she was having these people whip their kids and they killed their son. They killed their son following this woman's illogical, out of balance guidance and leadership. And because that is the nature, like this culture is so thwarted and warped around false ideas that are against nature, really. And this stuff sounds crazy saying it, so I don't know how to say it in a different way. But the culture is so against nature, right? So here's what's against nature. Like to deify something outside of you is against nature. To give something power over you is against nature. I'm telling them. Okay. To hold anyone better than you or more powerful than you or more divine than you, more godly than you is against nature. Like these are things that are against nature. And so when Black people who are absorbent, empathic, people who are closest to the energetic core of creation, because that's, we carry the DNA of the original human being inside of us. So we are closest to the God codes than other people. And because we are asleep behind the wheel, because we don't understand our own power, we can really be used and manipulated towards the function of other people and other things that are not really in the benefit of us. And so these black people killed their son um, and went to jail for it because they weren't trusting themselves, because they didn't even know how to trust themselves. They were looking for power outside of them, and they were trusting the leadership and the guidance of power outside of them. That's why I say you got to really learn to trust yourself. You got to learn to listen. Don't look with your eyes, look with your energy. Feel things, right? And if you can't feel things accurately, heal your trauma. That your trauma is the block. Your scenarios, your stories that would have you feel like somebody's out to get you, that would have you feel like somebody has power over you, that would have you not trust yourself. That's trauma. And trauma runs a frequency in your body that will have you repeat the same patterns over and over and over again. And as you repeat those patterns, then those patterns become really ingrained in your psyche. And so it's really important for us to learn how to follow energy. We got to learn how to follow energy. And everybody's energy frequencies are unique because you have your own astrology, right? That's why I tell you, learn your astrology. Learn your astrology. Learn your powers. Learn your gifts. Learn how you function. Learn how energy runs through you. You know, if you can just imagine in your mind, you know, one of those boards where, you know, like a computer board, and it has all of these little frequencies on it that energy runs through you. That's what your astrology is. It's how the frequencies run through you, right? And so when you understand that, then you understand your own power, your own energy, how it functions, and how it functions best to serve you and not to work against you. And that's why right now it's important for us to be looking at our shadow, you know, like really, what are the things that you're afraid of? And I was talking to someone yesterday, and they were telling me that they just got a breast thing that said, you know, something negative was going on. And so that's when you're oppressing your own nature. You have to nurture yourself, right? You have to really love your body. You have to love your body as it is. And so many women are at odds with our bodies. So many women are, you know, upset that we don't fit into the social structure of what the standards of beauty are, which are European and full of nonsense. Like, people with blonde hair and blue eyes aren't beautiful because they have blonde hair and blue eyes. It's disgusting. You know what I mean? Like, to have these ideas of beauty that are really rooted in patriarchal nonsense and European ideals of weakness. That, I mean, really, you know, when you have blonde hair and blue eyes, you carry a recessive gene. You really are weaker. Honestly, your genes are really weak. That's what that means. It doesn't mean that you're stronger. It means that you're actually weaker. That's the truth, right? Like, that's just the truth. I'm not trying to make that a bad thing, but we have everything turned upside down. We have everything turned upside down. It's like, so we believe that the people that are, you know, that look a certain way are more beautiful, when really they are more vulnerable. They're more vulnerable in nature. The sun will scorch them. That makes them weaker. Okay, right? So we don't want to aspire to that. We want to aspire to being in love with ourselves as we are. You know, if you're, you know, the fact that you are, you know, this just, it's hard for me to talk right now cleanly because my energy, my shadow is up. So I don't want to say things that are just mean-spirited. There's no point in it. But yeah, I can be really rigorous. I can be really mean and brutal. And so I don't want to do that. But my point is that these ideas of beauty and these notions of what we hold as valuable and what we hold as, you know, what we should aspire to or esteem to are false, and we don't want to hold ourselves to those standards because those standards are not really aligned with strength or health or wholeness or, or beauty in that matter. And so, it's like really just look in the mirror and love yourself. Like, and loving yourself means loving everything, right? So I don't always feel beautiful. And I've talked about that, but I love that. I love that about myself, that I don't always feel beautiful. And that there is, that sometimes my idea of what beauty is askew. And I love that because I'm a part of this culture and I'm working to heal it. And so I am where I am with it. So just be in your truth. Just be where you are, right? Sometimes I don't feel worth it. Sometimes I don't feel whole. Sometimes I don't feel valuable. And that's okay. That's okay. And I love that about me. I love that I can admit it. I love that I can be where I am with it and know that there's nothing wrong. It's okay. It's okay, right? That's how we neutralize the energy that would have us being at odds with ourselves. Because if you're at odds with your energy, if you're at odds with creation, then you won't ever, you got to make peace with the things that you don't like. You have to. You have to be like, oh, it's okay that I don't like something. Okay, and you have to love yourself where you are, how you are, because and when you do that, you open up the energy, is what I'm trying to say. When you do that, you open up the energy. I really, like for a long time, my hair was really starting to thin, and I just had to just love that my hair was thinning. It was like, I love that my hair is thinning. And did I really? No, I didn't. But I just was like, but I'm willing to love. And I just started taking care of it more, and it's starting to grow back completely the way that it was. It's starting to grow back fuller and thicker. But I had to love it the way that it was. I had to love it in its thinning state. You have to love everything. You cannot, whatever you're against, you propagate. That's the thing, right? Whatever you're against, you expand. So don't be against nothing. And when you are willing to embody the fullness of things, then they morph into something else. That's how it works. So my point, energy is the best thing that we need to understand and learn right now. And in this new moon, with Libra, you want to understand your energy with people. And you want to understand what's really motivating you in your relationships. Really, why are you in relationships with people? I want y'all to know, people do use other people's energy. It's a real thing. And if you're not using your energy, somebody else is using your energy. That's the thing to understand. If you're not using it, it's getting used in some other kind of way. So you want to really become responsible, and you want to teach your children how to use their own energy and how to not be codependent and how to say no when they need to say no. And, you want to teach yourself how to say no when you need to say no. And, one of the things now, I just am not adhering to people's ideas and what people request of me unless I really want to. If I want to, I'll do it because I want to. But if I don't want to, I'm not going to do it. But it's taken me a long time to learn how to say no when I really mean no, and not go along because, oh, I should be nice. Or fuck being nice. Nice is outdated. Nice is out of style. How about that? Yeah. Let's make nice go out of style and have authenticity be the thing that really becomes the prevalent way that we interact. Because we actually really want to. Then there's something really valuable. I had a prayer partner many years ago. She's so profound and amazing, and she was 20 years older than me, and she used to take a lot of trips to India. And she had straight hair. She was a black woman. We shared a birthday, but she had straight hair, and she wanted me to lock her hair, and I was like so frustrated because her hair was straight and I couldn't fucking get it to lock. And she said to me, do this for me because you want to do it. Like really want my hair to lock and feel my hair locking and don't be frustrated with it. And I did. And her hair locked. It locked. And I don't know if she's still wearing locks today. I haven't seen her in a while, but it locked. It locked because I made peace with the fact that her hair was straight and trusted the process, and it locked. So let's do what we want to do and not what we don't want to do. That's the best thing I can offer for the new moon in Libra. All right, y'all. Trust your divine intelligence. When you say yes because you want to, that's divine intelligence. And when you say no because you want to, that's divine intelligence. All right, go watch that video, that a documentary about the white woman with the church. These people are really interesting. The pursuit of power is a tricky thing, I'm telling you. All right, peace and blessings. I gotta go. Talk to you later. Bye.